I seen this question being asked on Facebook, so it really got me thinking. Um, One of my Facebook friends, they definitely didn't ask me to answer this question personally or do a video on it. But I just thought I would dive in. The question was, can you believe in God and still believe in energy and spirits? First of all, I would start by saying you can believe whatever you want. Um, and I think that's the first step you should take on figuring out if that is something that you believe in. Because whatever you believe is true for you, and that's something that you should stand by. You should never take anyone else's information that they're giving to you unless it like truly resonates with you and feels like truth, and you feel like you can accept it into your being, into your knowing without any issues. All I can really do is give my perspective, and my perspective is that God is energy, and God is also in spirit with us here. I think one of the beginning steps is to break down your belief system and really try to shave off the conception that God is a being, or God is either male or female or masculine or feminine. I think that that's the first step, that you should shave all of that off of what God means for you. In reality, from my perspective and from what I've learned and what I've seen, God is an omnipresence. So that means God is not one specific thing. God doesn't look like anything. God doesn't sound like anything. God is everything. So the air, this chair, nature is God, the water is God, the sand is God, planets are God, aliens are God, your thoughts are God, your feelings are God, everything is God, everything all around you. God is an omnipresence. In other words, God is not separate from anything here. If it exists, it is God, because God is the source and God is creation. So anything that is created is God. It is a part of God. It comes from God. I think that's what mainly this dimension is about, or this existence, this reality is about, is that a lot of the beings here have it confused that God is something separate from anything, or from everything, or from you, or for anything. So when you transcend, or you ascend, or you start to ascend, then that's when you get the understanding that there is no separation. Everything is from God. So everything is one. Everything exists in the same, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just an understanding that you have to come into. It's a knowing. God is an energy. Energy is everything. Energy is everywhere. So in my perspective, God and energy are one and the same. One and the same. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. There is nothing that is not energy. So it's when you finally come to the understanding that God is everything. God is not separate from you. There is no separation. Everything is oneness. That's when you're able to maneuver better in this reality, because you are actually able to harness your God energy and use it in a way that is productive and constructive to the reality, and you learn how to respond with energy using the law of attraction and the universal laws. As far as spirits goes, I would assume that when she says spirits, she means things like supernatural, ghosts, and maybe our family members and, you know, people who have passed on to the other side. Um, if they're on the other side, I'm pretty sure they're way more connected with God than we are. Um, that's just my opinion. That's my perspective. That's what I've learned through my journey. Um, you have to figure it out on your own. You have to really actually want to answer, and you have to do the research. So um, I suggest anybody with these questions, you should really find out, what does God mean to you. The first step in finding out what does God mean to you is really just breaking down what your actual belief system is about God. What have you been taught growing up? What is your programming about what God is? And for me, when I was growing up, I never really asked. I kind of just heard little inklings and things that people believed about God, and none of it resonated with me, and I never felt the need to really ask somebody, how do they know this information, or why do they think that information? I just knew inside of myself that, you know, I hadn't found my definition of God. And then I didn't really find my definition of God until I started my awakening process. So it seems all in divine order. And I started immediately to harness my God energy. All right, so that's all I'm going to say on this subject. If you have any questions, you can just write below. But other than that, I think that you guys should really figure out what God means to you. All right, bye.